Money Ape is standing in the electronics store. He went in to buy one phone case. Just one phone case. 7 minutes later, he is holding a phone case, a wireless charger he didn't know existed, a smart mug that keeps his coffee warm, and a tiny robot vacuum that was on sale. He doesn't own a carpet. He lives in a studio apartment with 3 square meters of floor space. The robot vacuum has nowhere to go. Money Ape buys it anyway. This is not a one-time thing. This is every Tuesday. And here's what's beautiful about Money Ape. He genuinely believes every single time that this purchase is the one that's going to change his life. The smart mug is going to make him more productive. The robot vacuum is going to free up his time. The wireless charger is going to make him the kind of organized, put-together person he's always wanted to be. The logic is airtight, in his head. At the time of purchase, 3 weeks later, the mug is in a drawer. The robot vacuum is stuck under his bed, making a sad whirring sound. And Money Ape is in a different store, holding something that sparkles. If you have ever done this, and let's be honest, you have, this video is for you. Because today we're going to talk about shiny object syndrome, what it is, why your brain is basically designed to make you do this, and what Money Ape is slowly learning to do about it. Let's go. Here's the first thing you need to hear. Money Ape is not stupid. You are not stupid. The reason you keep buying things you don't need is not because you have bad judgment. It's because you have a human brain. And human brains were not built for the modern world. They were built for the jungle. 10,000 years ago, when something new appeared in the environment, it mattered. A new plant could be food. A new animal could be a predator. A new shiny rock could be a tool. The brains that paid attention to new things survived. The brains that ignored new things got eaten. So your brain, right now, today, still lights up when it sees something new, something shiny, something different from what was there before. Neuroscientists call this the novelty response. Your brain releases a little squirt of dopamine, that feel-good chemical, the moment you encounter something new. Not when you buy it, not when you use it, just when you see it and your brain thinks, "Ooh, what is that?" That dopamine hit is your brain saying, "Pay attention, this might matter." The problem is, your brain can't tell the difference between a potentially life-saving new berry in the jungle and a limited edition air fryer at 40% off. It gives you the same dopamine. It feels the same, which means every time Money Ape walks past a store display and something catches his eye, his ancient jungle brain goes absolutely bananas, and I mean that literally. Money Ape has a theory. Well, technically it's our theory, but he owns it now. He calls it the golden banana problem. See, in the jungle, a ripe golden banana hanging right in front of you is always going to beat the idea of a banana you might have next month. The one in front of you is real. It smells good. It's right there. Future banana is invisible. Future banana requires trust. Future banana requires you to walk away from present banana, and that feels insane. This is called present bias in behavioral economics, and it is the silent engine behind almost every bad financial decision ever made. Your brain heavily discounts future rewards. $100 today feels worth way more to your brain than $150 in 6 months. Even though mathematically, logically, you know the 6-month option is better. The shiny object in the store is a golden banana. It's right there. You can see it. You can touch it. The dopamine is already flowing. The joy is immediate and real. Meanwhile, the version of you who didn't buy it and invested that money instead, that version of you exists somewhere in the future, living better, stressed less. But that version of you is invisible. That version of you has no smell. That version of you cannot compete with the golden banana that is right here, right now, catching the light in the most beautiful way. So Money Ape buys the banana. Every time. Because his brain is working exactly as designed. In the wrong century. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. And a little heartbreaking. Let's say Money Ape resists the first golden banana. He says no to the robot vacuum. He walks out of the store. He feels proud for about 4 days. Then he starts to notice that his life is exactly the same as before. No robot vacuum, same apartment, same floor. The high from resisting was real but temporary. And so his brain starts looking for the next shiny thing, because that dopamine needs somewhere to go. This is what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. The idea is simple. We buy something. It makes us happy for a while. Then we adapt. The new thing becomes the normal thing. And now we need something newer to get that same feeling of excitement. So we run, and run, and run. But we never actually get anywhere, because the treadmill moves with us. Money Ape bought a new laptop last year. It was incredible for 3 weeks. Now it's just his laptop. So now he thinks what he really needs is a better monitor, and maybe a standing desk, and maybe one of those fancy keyboard setups he saw on a productivity video at 2 in the morning. The purchases get more sophisticated. The justifications get more elaborate, but the feeling is always the same. If I just get this one thing, then I'll feel settled. Then I'll feel like I have everything I need. That feeling never comes from buying things. Never. And somewhere in the back of Money Ape's head, he knows this. But the golden banana is right there, and it has RGB lighting. Okay, so now we know the problem. Brain wiring, dopamine, present bias, hedonic treadmill. Money Ape is basically a prehistoric creature in a shopping mall. What does he actually do about it? He learned 3 things, and they are embarrassingly simple. The first thing is what he calls the pause. When Money Ape sees something shiny and feels that pull, that warm, exciting, this is the one feeling, he stops. He doesn't say no. He just says not yet. He takes out his phone and takes a picture of the item. That's it. He gives his brain proof that he acknowledged the thing. The dopamine still flows. The brain still gets its little reward, but the wallet stays closed. The second thing is the 72-hour jungle rule. Money Ape waits 72 hours before buying anything that isn't food, a bill, or an emergency. Not 24 hours, 72. Because at 24 hours, you still feel the dopamine hangover. At 72 hours, the jungle has gone quiet. The shiny thing has lost its glow. And Money Ape can ask the real question, do I actually want this? Or did I just want the feeling of wanting it? Most of the time, at hour 73, the answer is obvious. He didn't want the thing. He wanted the dopamine. And now that the dopamine is gone, the thing looks like what it always was, an object he didn't need that would sit in a drawer, making a quiet whirring sound under his bed. The third thing is the banana ledger. Money Ape keeps a note on his phone. Every time he doesn't buy a shiny thing, he writes down how much it cost and puts it in the ledger. He doesn't invest it right away. He just writes it down. Within 2 months, he had written down over $400 he had not spent. He looked at that number. He thought about what $400 in a real investment looks like in 5 years. And something shifted. The future banana started to have a smell. Just a little, but enough. Here's the part nobody talks about. Here's the real truth underneath all of this. Money Ape doesn't buy shiny things because he's greedy. He buys them because something in his life isn't giving him enough stimulation, enough excitement, enough sense of forward motion. The purchase is a hit of possibility. When he holds that new thing in his hands, for just a moment, he feels like someone who is going somewhere. Someone who is improving. Someone whose life is about to level up. The shiny object isn't really about the object. It's about the story his brain tells him. With this, everything will be better. With this, I'll be more productive, more organized, more impressive, more at peace. That story is a lie. But it's a loving lie. It's his brain trying to give him something he genuinely needs: hope, progress, the feeling of becoming. The problem is, he's been buying the story instead of building the thing the story is about. The robot vacuum can't organize his life. Only he can do that. The smart mug can't make him more productive. Only his habits can do that. But when he starts building real things, saving a real amount, investing in a real account, watching a real number grow, that story gets replaced with something better. Not just a feeling of becoming, actual becoming. And that, Money Ape is slowly learning, hits different. That dopamine is quieter. It doesn't sparkle in the store under the lights. But it stays. It compounds. It doesn't end up in a drawer. So here is where we leave Money Ape today. He's standing in that electronics store again. He's holding something that glows. His brain is doing exactly what a 10,000-year-old brain does when it sees something new and beautiful. And he has a choice. He can take the golden banana. It's real, it's warm, and it's right there. Or he can take a picture, put his phone back in his pocket, and walk out of that store knowing that somewhere in the future, a quieter, less exciting, completely invisible banana is growing. One that nobody put on a shelf. One he planted himself. One that 72 hours from now will still be worth something. The shiny object will be forgotten by next Tuesday. But the choice he makes right now? That one compounds. Which bananas is Money Ape choosing today? That's up to him. And which ones are you choosing? That's up to you. If Money Ape's brain feels uncomfortably familiar, hit subscribe. He's going to keep being honest about all the ways he gets this wrong, and the slow, sometimes boring, genuinely life-changing ways he's learning to get it right. See you in the next one.